and the wisdom of Lami.
Right. Good morning, everybody. My thought of the day today is titled "United in Justice." United in Justice. So for a lot of us, here part of the Homeboy community, we had yesterday off, and observed in our observation of Juneteenth, which is a relatively new observation here in our community for a lot of us, right? So, for many, it's still maybe kind of like a mystique about it, like what is Juneteenth? So I just kind of wanted to take this opportunity to talk about Juneteenth a little bit, but also kind of, draw parallels into, some of the work that we've been called to do today, presently, in our communities, as a lot of communities and family and people have been under attack. So first and foremost, a lot of people are under this impression that Juneteenth marks the day that was into slavery, and that's incorrect. Juneteenth is when, the last African Americans that were living in slavery, or that were enslaved in Texas, received a message 2 years later. So just imagine, groups of people, even though, slavery was outlawed in 1865, 2 years earlier, they were still living under the guise that they were property. And enslaved, as enslaved people, 2 years longer than they should have been. And so, June 19, 1867, a Union troop was able to make it to Texas and let the community know there in Galveston that, African Americans are considered free, quote unquote. So that's what Juneteenth marks. It doesn't mark into slavery, but a lot of people think that. So anyway, I bring that up because, I know for myself, Juneteenth is, I usually use Juneteenth as an opportunity, the community to kind of take in culture, take in a lot of appreciation for what the struggle was kind of led for, the Black community. But I can't help but also think about, the attacks that have been taking place, recently. The folks being, for lack of a better word, kidnapped. From their families and communities and schools, and I don't think that's just a Brown thing. It's just like a Latinx problem. I don't think no human being wants to see, what we've been seeing, on the internet and on the news. Like, it's horrible. I know for somebody like myself that grew up, in South Central LA, I have Mexicans from my neighborhood. You know what I mean? And I know my neighborhood, we have relationships with a lot of the brown brothers and sisters. So, what we witness is horrible. And, as you kind of look at, like Juneteenth, right? They call for, equality and justice. I think this is a renewed cry, a renewed endeavor for us to all collectively come together and find, the strength to advocate and create allyships with folks to help, support our communities during these trying times. If that makes sense. So I wrote something, like a reflection. I'm pretty sure all of us have things that we think goes through our minds. Sometimes we write them down, sometimes we don't. I choose to write them down. And so I want to kind of share something I wrote. The title of this is A Reflection of Freedom, Justice, and Belonging. Yesterday we recognized Juneteenth, a moment in American history that marks the delayed but powerful arrival of emancipation for the last enslaved African Americans in 1867. It is a day of remembrance, of resilience, and an ongoing pursuit of justice and equality. Juneteenth reminds us that freedom is not an event of the past. It is a continual responsibility. As we celebrate the progress that has been made, we acknowledge the profound challenges that persist. From the ongoing struggles against racial injustice to the treatment of our fellow immigrant communities, we are called to examine the full meaning of freedom in a modern context. The hope is that we all confirm that there is no such thing as a human being being illegal. Every person deserves dignity, safety, and belonging. Under God's watchful eye, we are all connected and all accountable to one another. It is in a time when social justice protests continues and families are separated, when communities are crying out for humanity and hope. The observation of Juneteenth invites us not just to celebrate, but to act. Let days like today serve as a reminder that the work of equity and inclusion is far from over. It is our shared duty to build systems and spaces where all people, regardless of race, origin, and circumstances, are seen, valued, and free. May we honor the spirit of Juneteenth not only in words, but with action. Thank you.